Hey guys, I want to talk about my Pothos Marble Queen. And this is actually propagation. I tried to propagate other Pothos before, and they were very unsuccessful. And I believe the reason they were very, very unsuccessful was because I I didn't really I Okay, I think the reason I propagated it wrong was because I put it in the same pot, and this is a really big, this was a really huge pot with a big plant, and with that, that means I don't water it very often. So the propagated ones kind of rotted and died because obviously they don't have any roots yet, and the soil wasn't kept moist because I have an established plant there, and it could be a tendency of overwatering. So this is my second attempt to do it, and there's a little bit of white here, and I will talk about that soon. But anyway, so I just kind of wanted to do this, and I did this. I didn't have the time to record it when I did it, and I wish that I did. And of course, me enduring PCS, anxiety, depression, and some memory issues, I really wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't processing it right. So I wish that I did, but I wasn't able to. So that was only like, I would say about a week. I would say between 5 days to 10 days would be a range in between that. So all of these I trimmed, and I just made sure that there was a node there, of course. And what I did was I dipped it in what that called, the root encourager or something like that, liquid. And anything that I used and everything that you're seeing will be down below. So don't worry about that. Just, focus on what I'm showing you guys right now. This, and then after that, I dip it in the liquid root, what is that? Root encourager or root hormone. So I did the liquid, and then I dipped it in the powder, and then I put it in the soil. This is just regular potting soil because that is what pothos thrive in. I've grown pothos before, but I've never really tried to propagate it successfully. And again, this is my second try. I'm not very good with the water propagation, so I just stuck them in roots because that's the only way I've been really good with my jade propagation. That for me, ever since I figured out how to do it, it's 100% propagation proof for me. Soil and jade, just in jade, and of course the root hormone. So I'm doing that. I get a lot more confident, and I'm doing that with this, and I do check them every day so far, just to kind of feel the leaves. And a little tip, if there's something wrong and you're trying to propagate, especially with soil, I'm not very successful with water, so I don't really know much with the water, but I would assume it would be the same with the health of the leaves. When you feel the leaves and they feel healthy like this, they're not mushy, they're not crisp, they just look healthy and they bounce back like that. That means that your propagation so far is doing great. That's what I noticed when I did that with my jades. I think I'm on like batch 4 or 5 on my jades. It's been doing really well, and I've had to give some away recently as a gift, and I was just so happy about that. But what I also did notice is it does take a few months, and this is with water as well as with soil propagation. With probably most propagation is most, not all, because I've heard certain plants kind of grow roots kind of quicker. For jade, it took about 2 or 3 months that I've noticed. With this, I don't know. because pothos is such a fast grower, depending on how much light you do provide, I'm kind of hoping that they grow rather quicker. So if they do grow, this will be a separate plant. This will be a separate plant. This will be a separate plant, and so on and so forth. And I'm kind of hoping with this, when they do establish roots, what I want to do is pop it back in where the source was, where the mother plant is. And I just want that pot to be just fuller. And I'm going to keep on doing this every time I'm going to give her a haircut. And until she's completely full. And I feel like I want to start up a new pot, then I'll do that. But for now, my plan is to do that because I've noticed that there are a ton of spots in the pot that is really vacant. And if you don't know, you're new to pothos, you don't know much about it, they don't really need a ton of room. They grow really viney, and you can stick them like in this kind of pot. This is just a grower's pot. You can stick them in this kind of pot, and they can even grow like 10, 20 feet. It just depends really on how much they've grown in their root system, but they'll be fine. I used to have a pothos that it grew, I would say 20 feet, and I never transplanted it. I never put it in a bigger pot, and she was just... when I bought her though, let's see, I think I only had like 5 or less real plants in there, like branches. And she never got really full. It was just a lot leggy because the beginning when I had it, she was across the room, not really a ton of light. When we moved and our apartment was just ceiling to floor windows, I put her next to the window, still the same kind of situation, and she got bushier with that. She got bushier and leggier. So if you want this plant to be bushier, I would suggest, for the growth to be closer, is you have more light. Like if you see here, like when this is going to grow, if you want this to be bushier, the in-between nodes would be tighter. What I would suggest is you put them in closer proximity to light. I know these can survive in low light. That's always what it says, is you can survive them in low light, but the more light you give them, the bushier they become. When you give them indirect medium light, they become leggy. The reason for that is that they're trying to reach the source of the light. And medium indirect light just means it's very limited light. But they can find the light. With low light, a lot of people, that's just like a dark corner with no direct light at all, or even less than indirect light. So that's what I did initially with my first ever pothos. And I don't do that with my pothos really, because I want them to be really bushy. So they usually get kind of like in between direct and indirect. So they're not directly next to a window, but they're probably like 6 inches away from a window. There's a plant between them and a window. I have more than one. If hopefully this successfully propagates, this will go back again to my marble queen mother plant, my really large one. I do have a small one too, and that one still hasn't really grown much. Another tip, if you want a fast growing pothos, don't get the smallest one. Get a medium or a really big one with at least a few roots or nodes growing on the sides. If you get something that kind of looks like this, where it's just kind of bushy and tight like this, it can take you a while for that particular plant to actually grow more. So just be aware, if you want a faster growing kind of pothos, get something that has a little bit length on each branch, or just half the branch. Put it in with more light than low light. And I would say in a couple of months, you should have new growth. Once this plant for me acclimates really quickly, and once you give her a sweet spot and they love it, they acclimate there, she's just going to keep growing for you. So just put all the variables together on what would be a good combination for this particular plant, and you would just fall in love and you would want to get more pothos. Everything that I'm using to propagate with this would be below in the description section. I just don't want to mislead you guys, with my memory and everything. Everything should be there. So if you have any other questions aside from what I've shared, and also in the description section, let me know down below. Nobody's perfect. I might have missed something or a lot of things. Let me know down below if you have any other questions. And I hope you enjoyed my video. You're going to hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. And of course, the bell so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. I will try to update this, hopefully, when I do notice that either new growth, new kind of development, if I feel like there's something to update, I will do that. But, when it comes to gardening, patience really is key. It's not going to be overnight. But again, this is going to be I think this is the most successful propagation that I have tried to date. And I'm only like less than 2 weeks in, I think. So thank you guys so much. And I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.